Thanks for joining us. This Weather Center is sponsored by Budgetel Inns. I'm Rick Griffin here with Will Annan. We appreciate you joining us on this Saturday morning, the 21st of March. Big storm, mid-Atlantic and northeast, and just in the last few minutes, heavy rain in Allentown. It's pouring in Philadelphia, Trenton, New Jersey too, and that's only one aspect of the storm. We have snow and ice as well.
That's true, but also some very good news today. The southeast, it's going to be a much calmer day. No chance of any severe weather, which is great news for much of the Carolinas and the Georgia after looking at some deadly tornadoes yesterday. Let's show you the satellite picture right now. We can show you where our big storm is going. It is heading off towards the east-northeast. Once again, it looks like the heavier band of snowfall during this upcoming day is going to be setting up shop somewhere around central into upstate New York. The New York State Thruway should be a real mess a little bit later on from Albany and Schenectady, getting back towards Syracuse, where it currently is raining, all the way back towards Buffalo, New York. Also within the last hour, heavy bands of rain have been moving through south central and southeastern sections of Pennsylvania, including the Philadelphia area, also over much of New Jersey right now, and that is heading all towards the New York City area within the next hour or two. You should be looking at some of that heavy rainfall. Take a look at our storm system right now, looking at snow on the back side of it in the colder weather across much of Indiana, Ohio, even around southeastern lower Michigan, right around Detroit. But again, it's a mixture of rain and snow. If you take a look at much of New York State right now, a mixture of rain, snow, sleet, freezing rain, nothing really all gelling together as of yet. But we do think, especially to the north of the Thruway, that's where your heavier band of snow is going to be setting up a little bit later on. Look at the temperatures this morning. Not all that bad if we take a look at what's happening for this first full day of spring. 32 degrees in Boston, a mild morning, 37 in New York City, 33 in Elmira. This is the reason why we're looking at rain mixing with snow instead of just all plain snow at the moment across much of the area. But we do have some stiff winds here, so you factor in the winds. The wind chill does go down to 6 below in Bangor, 4 below in Caribou, and we're looking at the wind chill sub-zero as well over upstate New York around Watertown as of the present time. Just 10 in New York City, 22 in Philly, and 23 in Washington. Well, here comes the rain, sleet, and snow beginning to advance northward. Of course, this is the Thruway right in through here, so it looks like the precipitation just reaching that area at the present time. Farther southward, big-time rains have caused a lot of problems overnight in southeastern and south central Pennsylvania. Flooding going on right now in York County, Lancaster County, and more of that to come. Many roads are impassable right now, and you can see that heavy rainfall moving across New Jersey, heading right towards the New York City area as of the present time. Heading back towards the Ohio Valley. Now we pick up the snow over much of western Ohio, back in the northeastern and southeastern Indiana. It's not a big deal, but still we're looking at some light snow, which is beginning to fall as of the present time. Otherwise, you check on the rest of the Midwest. Doesn't look bad this morning from Green Bay all the way down towards Chicago. Just missing the snowflakes right now. Des Moines is looking fine. Omaha, Council Bluffs, and Minneapolis, St. Paul. For the upcoming hour anyway, Green Bay stands at 24 degrees, Chicago 34, and the real messy weather is off to your east and south, where temperatures are still in the 30s, but the wind chill is knocking that temperature down a tad. It's down to 12 in Chicago, 4 in Green Bay, and just 5 around Flint, 11 in Cleveland. The southeastern part of the country, violent day yesterday in northeastern Georgia and parts of the Carolinas, with at least a couple of tornadoes doing some major league damage and causing many deaths. Today it's going to be a much more stable atmosphere, even though there could be a couple of sprinkles as far south as around Atlanta into the western Carolinas, and it will be a breezy day as well. Beginning the day, 38 degrees in Atlanta, 48 degrees in Panama City, 49 New Orleans, 37 degrees in Dallas. Looking at some of those light showers beginning to roll their way southeastward now, right through the Tennessee Valley into northern Alabama and Georgia. Off the west coast, our next big storm, we'll be watching for this one. Looks like it'll be impacting mainly the Pacific Northwest. Looks very impressive on the satellite picture, that is for sure. There's our storm. We'll be watching this one for sure during the next couple of days as it begins to advance towards the east. Now with a look at your national forecast, let's turn it over to Rick.
Thanks a lot, Will. Well, let's start in the southwest, where it should be in the 80s in Phoenix today, 60s in Flagstaff, 40s in Denver. As we head out to Oklahoma City and Dallas, 50s and low 60s. Sunny skies thanks to high pressure. clearing skies in New Orleans. Variable clouds in Atlanta today. Will be blustery and cool, mainly in the 40s in North Georgia. Mid-Atlantic and Northeast unsettled as low pressure now near Richmond, Virginia, tracks slowly towards the Tidewater, where it will be located by early this evening. Now again, look for soaking rains in New York, New Haven, Connecticut, Boston. You'll have a wintry mix, particularly west of 495, and then moderately heavy snow over the interior of New England, New York State, central Pennsylvania, and a few inches of snow today, even as far south as the high country of Maryland, Garrett County, and down into Randolph and Preston County in West Virginia. In D.C., rain showers, 47. Philadelphia, heavy rain comes to an end. The wind shift, a showery, blustery afternoon, 41 the high. New York City, rain heavy at times. Boston, rain near the coast, a wintry mix inland, particularly around Leominster and Worcester today in the Connecticut Valley. Snow over the upper Hudson Valley mixed with freezing rain and sleet at times. Same for Syracuse and Buffalo. Rain and sleet changing to snow, we think. Pittsburgh, a bit of a wintry mix. In the south, well, windy in Florida, cooler and drier in Miami, 78, 66 in Orlando, chilly in Atlanta, Memphis today. Sunny in Texas, 72 in Brownsville, 52 up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Chicago, windy but lots of sunshine, 39 degrees. Sunny in 49 Kansas City, 51 today. Cheyenne, Wyoming, but 83 in Phoenix, Arizona on the first full day of spring.
Yet to come, we'll talk about some of those flooding rains in parts of Pennsylvania and also New Jersey right now.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This program was sponsored by Budgetel Inn.
Call 1-800-4BUDGET for reservations.
You got a pretty decent sized chunk of land to mow, say Montana. Make sure you also have the Cub Cadet by MTD lawn tractor with a solid steel direct drive shaft. And when you're finished there, Wyoming could use a bit of a trim. Cub Cadet by MTD, American made, American owned.
Check your yellow pages or call us to find the dealer nearest you.
The rush of riding PAL and going huge. It's made snowboarding the fastest growing winter sport in the world. To make boards that are both flexible and tough, cutting-edge snowboard makers